Seoul, Korea.
Of course, up here at the 12 o'clock position, we have our blue Protoss currently leading 1-0 in this map. Can he take down a second one to take the whole series?
TricKsteR.
So TricKsteR edited out his old team name. What a trickster. He actually changed his name several times as well.
Yes.
Over here, our Terran player on the team TSL, he is.
TricKsteR Clide.
Remember, these guys are former teammates, so they know each other well. That may be why we saw such interesting play from Clide last game. But in general, I have to say that nuke play is pretty strong. It's solid, it's a good opener.
It's very unique, and it's very timing situated though. Because as we saw, sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's not that big of an investment, but if you lose like your whole, pretty much your whole army, as we saw Clide do, just to the misplaced army, when he went in to take that base for the Storms, that's all it was.
Yeah, he didn't split his units as well. There were a lot of things that went wrong in that battle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Clide do the same opening again, because I think some players like Yoda and maybe Clide now think that this opening is so good that you can do it almost on any map. And I'm actually sitting here trying to think what would happen if your opponent went like one gate Robo and you rolled in with the Ghost and it didn't do anything. After you made all that investment on the Cloak and the Ghost Academy, and the Ghost itself's pretty expensive. You try to take an expansion. He has a lot of units, and he attacks you. Can you really hold that expansion? I'd like to see a game like that. Maybe I'll ask QXC when we get home if he can like try this build. I'll play against him and do one gate Robo. I don't know. I want to see what happens.
Well, it's weird because Clide did get, what, 13 probes? Actually, including some sentries as well. It should have been enough to give him a decisive lead. He just fell further and further behind.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about what TricKsteR's done here. He's gone for a Nexus before core. He got his gas up, but only had one probe in the gas until he made the Nexus, so we get that Nexus super fast. That was really cool and creative. I don't think it was a mistake. I'm pretty sure it was very well planned out. He starts building up the gas just a little bit with that one probe, gets a fast Nexus, then he's going to make the core. Pretty soon here he will. Hasn't made it yet. That's actually like a really late core. He needs to make that core soon. I think he might want to stop a probe for a second. I'm just surprised he made the Zealot before the core.
Well, we can't chase down any scouting SCV at the moment.
Yeah, it was a good idea to get the super fast Nexus, but making the Zealot I think was a bit much. Not going to be able to do a whole lot with that Zealot. I think that might have been a mistake in this build. Either way, Clide making a factory here, is making a tech lab as well in that factory, and he's first started the starport now. He's probably going to be doing a Banshee opener. I can't imagine anything else he'd be doing with those two structures up there, top right of his base.
Because the Cybercore is going to be able to finish very shortly, but we saw last game he didn't really go for very many Stalkers.
This is true. It's kind of becoming the new trend for this matchup, because a lot of Terrans just by default make a lot of Mars. They have more hit points, they do well against Stalkers, but they don't do very well against Zealots. So if you have a Zealot heavy army, you have Templar and Archons as well, it becomes very difficult.
Yeah.
So there's that starport. He's going to do a switch. Make a reactor right now on his barracks. It's finishing up so he can get a lot of Marines out. This type of build can end up leading to a timing attack. He is getting cloaked right off the bat, but I don't think that's what Clide's going to do. I think he's just going to use that Banshee to put on a lot of pressure, harass, kill probes, and try to play a longer game, similarly to how he used the Ghost last game, just with Banshees, which are much more mobile and much more frustrating, I have to admit. I don't know, if you have a cloaked Ghost in your base, you just go, well, I didn't account for this, and you don't feel as bad when you have a Banshee in your base, you're like, oh, I should have gone a faster Robo.
Yeah. Well, that being said, the later this Robo is, it's actually getting fairly late.
Yeah, he has just gone up to 2 gates. Really been powering those probes out with that fast Nexus. There's the Robo going down.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Get a shot of it. There it is.
We'll take a little bit of time before that Observer comes out, so we'll probably see quite a few kills.
Uh-oh, the Stalker getting a little overzealous. Could have poked a little bit more at those Marines, but now has missed his opportunity, lost his shields. And Clide not making a command center, adding 2 barracks here. We could see a timing attack from him to follow this up, and there's the Raven. So it looks like most likely what we're going to see, and a tech lab on the factory. We'll talk about this in a second. We're going to get a shot of this Banshee trying to harass TricKsteR.
Cloak is about to finish pretty much on the perfect timing as he comes in.
Yeah, this is perfectly timed. Banshee comes in here, he cloaks. Well, he's not going to cloak until he gets fired upon.
If he can delay using that cloak as long as possible. Oh, never mind, he's just going to go straight for it. He's actually going to hit on these Stalker and Sentries. He's getting one Sentry. Second one will go down if he can actually focus down the next Stalker.
Yeah, he's wasting a lot of Cloak energy doing this, though. I'm not sure if this was optimal.
Yeah.
But he is keeping the army size rather low, and he is going to follow this up with a timing attack, because back at home, you see he's got the Tech Lab on the factory. He's making a Siege Tank. He got a Raven out. He's added 3 barracks. He's just going to go for a Marine, Banshee, Raven, Siege Tank timing attack. You've heard about it. You've heard horror stories. It's
This
so hard to
Banshee's
stop.
now up to 11 kills.
Yeah, that Banshee actually is going to escape without taking a single hit as well. He's just going to come and rejoin the army.
It's kind of like what happened last game. The Ghost came in, killed a whole heap of stuff, walked out.
Well, he almost walked out. And then the Force Field was like, no. We thought he was going to walk out, though. So he's actually going to go with just one tank. He's not even going to get siege mode. Making a second Banshee. The Banshee will reinforce. I like this timing here. Banshee tried to get another kill. She could not. This attack will absolutely end the game unless TricKsteR shows us some miracle. A second Observer coming out here. Remember, there's a Raven in this army as well as these Marines. If he loses the Observer because the Raven's out and the Banshee's just Cloak, what's he going to do then?
Yeah.
And he's bringing the SCVs. This gives me nightmares. I dream about this every night. I lose to it on the ladder every day. On the Taiwan server, Terran players actually only know how to do this. So it's in my nightmares, man.
Well, Clide coming across now is going to be very, very difficult for TricKsteR. He's going to have some perfectly placed force fields here.
Yeah,
there's only 2 units that can really hit that Banshee.
He's going to try to bait the force fields out here. And the point defense drones, he's going to use auto turrets instead because there's only one Stalker. And this Banshee doing a lot of damage. TricKsteR in a lot of trouble here. I don't know what else to say. He's waiting to attack because he doesn't have enough units to engage just yet. He's going to lose the Nexus, losing a lot of probes here as well.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is he's going to lose the Nexus. Clide's going to start building bunkers as he attacks. He can actually uncloak those Banshees. They're not even necessary at this point. He's going to go up the ramp. There's enough energy for a force field. Good force field here, but siege mode is done.
Yeah.
And I think this may be the end of TricKsteR here in game 2. Banshee's doing so much damage to those sentries, forced the Guardian Shields out before we wanted to use them. And those tanks are going to start coming up the ramp here as well. Backed into a corner. More auto turrets being dropped.
He's doing the best he can to try and survive, but it's
He's
just
doing
not
a great
enough.
job microing, but the problem is he just lost. He just played a little too greedy. That's just what it comes down to. And against this, you have to have Colossi or you have to have just an overwhelming amount of units. And he has neither. Probes coming out. The siege tank's going to clean up these Stalkers as the Marines clean up the probes. And we'll see GG any second. The bunker actually going to finish as well. GG. Clide, he like went crazy with his hair there, man. That build is really specific. What Clide did was he's like, all right, I'm doing a Cloak Banshee opener. I've got this factory over here. And then the second he got there with the Banshee and saw, oh, you only have 2 Stalkers, a Zealot, and a Sentry, that's your army?
Yeah.
I'm going to add a Tech Lab on my factory. I'm going to add 2 barracks. And then I'm going to kill your Sentries and kill your attacking units rather than your probes. And then I'm just going to come and kill you, and you're going to die.
It was a good decision there by Clide to do that. Like, some players would have just gone straight for the probes the entire time and tried to play a longer game, but he chose that opportunity to actually just end it. And it was really nicely done by Clide.
It's better to go for the probes in most cases, in almost all cases. And even in this case, he killed the sentries and he was like, Stalker's going to take too long, I'm just going to go kill the probes. So he was able to get a lot of kills, kept the Banshee at full health.
Yep.
And then came back later to do a little bit more harassment.
A lot of the full health came down to he was killing the units that could attack him as well. There was only really 2 or 3 Stalkers at the very end, and you can't have them everywhere.
Yeah, I can't stress you guys enough. The timing attack was a decision made not from the beginning. Clide didn't go, this is what I'm going to do on this map. He said, I'm going to open Cloak Banshees, then I'm going to expand. He has all these minerals banked up, and he's like, either make a command center or a Tech Lab, a Raven, and 2 extra barracks, and I'm going to kill you. And he saw you have barely any units, and he's like, I'm not going to make a command center because I can end this game. And he ended it. Good decision-making by Clide. TricKsteR, we can't say he played badly in that situation necessarily. He just didn't have his robo up fast enough. He played a little greedy. Late robo, not a lot of units, kind of late gates.
But there's nothing really he could do that.
Yeah, when the attack came, no amount of micro would have been enough.
As soon as that Banshee came, he pretty much couldn't do anything about it.
He did everything he could. Like, he didn't try to engage when he had too few units. He tried to get up enough units to fight it. It just wasn't enough.
Yeah. But of course, the next map, going to be Crossfire.
You just have to have Colossi in that situation, really. Yep, like you said, Crossfire. A map that Protoss sometimes struggle against Terrans. The timing attack we saw last game is actually the most commonly executed TVP build on this map. Look up some VODs of TVP on this map. You'll see it a lot. Nada versus TT1. TT1, one of the only players able to hold that type of build with an expansion. That's why a lot of time on this map you see Protosses go for all-ins. You don't see fast expands usually. Or at the very least, you see pressure into an expansion. You don't see fast expands like we saw last game at all on a map like this.
Coming from the other side of the coin, though, you see a lot of 3-gate Void Rail.
You also see a lot of Void Rail, and you've seen Alicia do it. All right, who's going to take Game 3? Will it be Clide or will it be TricKsteR? Whoever does advances to the round of 8. I am Wolf. With me is Unstable. We're here at the GSL Codes. This is the round of 16, day 1.